Would I Lie to You, the show that rewards the very best liars. On David Mitchell's team tonight, a legendary comedian who manages to be one of the biggest stars in showbiz and one of the smallest. It's Ronnie Corbett!
Thank you.
And a comedian from Newcastle, so she won't have seen anything like this before. Men wearing jackets. It's Sarah Millican. And on Lee Mack's team, a comedian who's always on the lookout for a double entendre, so I'm going to bend over backwards not to give him one. It's Julian Cleary. And a comedian from Guildford in leafy Surrey, although she was brought up in the rough part of town where the Waitrose didn't have its own deli counter. It's Holly Walsh. So let's begin with round one, Home Truths, where our panellists each read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make things harder, they've never seen the card before, so they've got no idea what they'll be faced with, and it's up to the opposing team to sort the truth from the lies. And Julian Cleary is first up. Julian.
In my garden, I have a life-size statue of myself astride a unicorn.
Seems reasonable enough, David.
Where do you get one? I mean,
it was
I
a
want
prop
one.
from a show. A prop from a show I did. It's not made of stone, it's made from polystyrene or something, but it's been painted. It's a bit weather-worn now.
And what was the show?
It was it was a New Year's Eve thing for Channel 4, Hello 1993 or something.
Well, why did Hello 1993 need a statue of you on a unicorn?
Well, it was the 90s.
You touch it up every now and again, every spring, give it a repaint, or...
I have a man for that sort of thing.
Oh, right.
You don't have to touch up its horn yourself?
No.
Did you ask for the unicorn, or was that forced on you?
Well, it was part of the set. You know, like you have these sort of bumper car things for this set.
Yes, I see that.
When this comes to an end, you may want to take one of those home. Same.
I'd like to have this in my house, and I'd like to address my wife from it every night. On to round three, foreplay, and if you get through that, who knows what might happen. So it's in the garden. Is it part of a water feature? Is it on a lawn?
It's on a plinth, on a few bricks.
A few bricks.
Which is it? A plinth or a few bricks? Because when cars have had their wheels taken, they don't say, "Oh, look, that car's on a plinth."
Well, I call it a plinth.
How nice.
What do you think then, David?
Yes, what do you think, Ronnie?
I think it might be a lie.
Really?
Would it be in the garden for this long, I asked myself.
Well, it could... I mean, it could be in a bit of a state.
Seriously dilapidated.
Yeah. A sort of a decaying image of yourself on you. That'd be quite a reminder of your own mortality on top of a mythical beast.
I have a similar thing in my house. It's called a mirror. So what are you going to say, David?
I think it's true. I thought it was true from the first time we said it. I didn't need any backup.
You think it's a lie?
I think it's true.
I think it's a lie.
Well, I think on balance, I think it's true.
OK, David's saying it's true. Julian, were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
It was a lie.
Oh.
Yes, it's a lie. Julian doesn't have a life-size statue of himself astride a unicorn in his garden. The traditional method for hunting a unicorn is for a fair maiden to sit alone upon the grass, and after a time the unicorn will approach. This is also the traditional method for catching flashers. Ronnie Corbett, you're next.
Right. I once undertook a self-help course entitled How to Become Taller.
Very hurtful, that laughter, I thought, Ronnie. Very hurtful.
Was it a step-by-step guide?
It was. No, it was a little routine I had to perform every morning against the wall, stretching up. and with a pin in the wall.
Oh, it was literally taller, not just to make you feel
Oh, no, to
confident.
really make me
This is
taller.
going to make you taller.
I'm talking about the real business, making me taller. And saying every day and in every way, I'm getting taller and taller.
Can I ask you a question? Did you keep the receipt?
Was this done once you were of maturity, or was it when you were an adolescent and still possibly might grow?
I was about sort of 14 or 15.
Oh,
yes,
right.
And it was bought by my aunt,
Right.
who was perhaps more worried about my size than I was.
Yeah.
And so she subscribed to it.
How tall were you at 14?
A little bit taller than I am now, actually.
This is a great book you bought, isn't it?
But surely at 15 you can still have a growth spurt. Like, Julian, you're pretty tall. Like, how old were you when you reached the height you are now?
Well, I shot up when I was 15.
What are you doing?
Slow.
Were you older than 15 when you were...
I was about 18, I suppose.
So to worry about your nephew not being tall at 14 or 15, that's quite premature to get concerned about someone's height.
But boys do usually shoot up at about 14 or 15, don't they?
I never shot up. My parents kept telling me about my cousin Gethin, who he shot up when he was 22, he got ages yet. And
yes.
of course, I peaked at a very disappointing 5'7", which is...
I can't believe in front of Ronnie you're saying a very disappointing...
I was about to say...
His feelings!
I know, it's so upsetting. That's even more upsetting. When did you get out of short trousers into long trousers?
Oh, what time is it now? So what do you think? Is Ronnie telling the truth?
In the context of, what was that, the 40s, when you were a teenager?
The 1944, 42,
Yeah.
Right.
41, 42.
Sort of
I
thing
don't
people
think
might
people
have
have money
believed.
to spend on self-help, but during the war, they're not going to spend time worrying about how tall people are.
Well, you'd think that'd be the time
Exactly when you worry about... We need to be taller than the enemy.
Having said that, it would have been annoying if they'd have made you grow an extra 6 inches, sent you in the war, got in the trench, and your head was sticking out of the top. That would have been very annoying, wouldn't it?
Now, you've got to get a grip here, Lee, and make a decision.
I think we should go for... You're saying truth. Holly, how sure are you?
I'm definitely sure you're not... That's not true. I'm sure... I don't know.
You've answered the question, sweetheart. I'll go with Julian.
OK, you're saying it's true. So, Ronnie Corbett, is it the truth, or were you telling a lie?
It is the truth.
It's true. Ronnie did once undertake a self-help course entitled How to Become Taller. Of course, lacking height is no obstacle to success. I can think of loads of short people who've become household names. There's Ronnie, of course, and then there's Sleepy, Grumpy, Happy, Dozy, Sneezy, Ant and Deck. Sarah, you're next.
I once spent an entire day on the Asda shuttle bus just to have a day out.
Lee, what do you think?
How long did you spend on the Asda shuttle bus?
3 hours.
Is that a day out?
Well, yeah, I slept late.
So you spent 3 hours on the Asda shuttle bus, on your own?
Yes. Well, no, there was other passengers, but I wasn't with anybody else.
You were...
All life is there on the Asda shuttle bus.
Well, no,
you just
but you-
sit there and watch the world
No, it's not
get
all-
on with their shopping.
It's not all like... You wouldn't be on it, would you?
No, I don't.
Sarah, Ronnie.
Oh, sorry.
I think Ronnie wouldn't be on it before David wouldn't be on
Oh,
it.
no, God.
Oh, no.
Can I just say, I'd be on it. Happily.
You'd be driving it.
I'd be. You should be on the Asda shuttle bus because you're quite small and every little helps.
No, that's Tesco. Tesco.
Tesco, yes.
I like those adverts for Sainsbury's. There's that guy with a really great voice who says, Sainsbury's, try something new today.
I'm the voice of Scottish laminate flooring.
Does all your flooring have to be laminated?
Oh, no, I don't approve of it myself.
Which branch were you going to?
It was the Bolden Asda.
The what?
Bolden. I went from Asda all around all the estates locally.
In Bolden?
Yes.
Is that in Newcastle?
No, it's in South Tyneside.
That sounded like Newcastle to me.
Because you're racist.
Did you get on the bus thinking you were going to go shopping and then thought, this is fun, I'll stay on it? Or did you plan to get on the bus as a jaunt?
I got on because I thought it would take me home, but it didn't go anywhere near my house, so I just stayed on. And then got back off at Asda.
And you
so
were
it wasn't
Oh,
planned
so
in
you got on
advance.
thinking it would take you home.
Yes.
It does one full revolution back at Asda, and you think, I'll try again. It might stop at my house this time. You never know. The second time round, he might just go via my house.
But there must be quite a lot of old people who do that to keep warm and for something to do. I mean, like, how long did you...
I'm 34, love.
All right, so what are you thinking, Lee? Which way are you leaning?
Julian.
I've no idea on this one. I've changed my mind. I think it's true now.
What made you change your mind?
The story of her trying to get home, that part of it.
See, that was the bit that made me think she wasn't turned to it, because...
Oh, it's so different.
I know. Hey, you say that.
Jeez.
Wait, that'd be a great name for a double act for me and you. Chalk and cheese. Hello, I'm Chalk and this is cheese.
I'll phone my agent.
Oh, I don't know. Holly?
I think it's true.
Do you think it's true?
So what are you going to say, Lee?
Oh, go on then. I will say it's true.
You're saying it's true. OK. Sarah, truth or lie?
It is true.
All right, yes, it's true. Sarah did once spend an entire day on the Asda shuttle bus just to have a day out. There's always one slightly strange person on those buses, you know, that everyone's a bit afraid of. And in this case, it was Sarah. So, at the end of that round, David's team are trailing by 4 points to 0. Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of David's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest, and it's up to Lee's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Paul. Welcome, Paul. So first off, Ronnie, what is Paul to you?
This is Paul. Paul, I found one morning bound and gagged in a bunker on the golf course next to our house.
David, would you tell us how you know Paul?
This is my driver, Paul, and he refuses to drink pints because his hands are so small.
And finally, Sarah, your relationship with Paul?
This is my news agent, Paul, and he once asked me to watch the shop for 10 minutes, and by the time he came back, I'd broken a window and there was a little boy had his head stuck in a crisp box.
Right, there we are. Ronnie's gagged golfer, David's small-handed driver, or Sarah's unfortunate news agent. Lee, where would you like to start?
Ronnie,
Yeah.
this bunker.
Yes.
What were you doing? This is early in the morning.
Very early in the morning, because I go out very early in the morning, about maybe 7:15, 7:20.
On the golf course?
On the golf course.
In case anyone wants to use you as a tee.
It is upsetting.
It is upsetting.
Mind you, I shouldn't worry, because the other day I walked out in my big golfing flat hat and the greenkeeper rushed out and says, these bloody mushrooms are early this year. Well, thank you.
So you saw him on the... You saw him...
To be truthful, the two dogs, they went into the bunker. I thought, well, they're sniffing about that. And I went over there, and there Paul was, bound and gagged, in the sand, in the bunker.
And then what happened?
Well, then he was coming round, because I think he'd had a bit of a night the night before, so I tapped him on the cheeks gently like that, and when I was tapping the cheeks and I'd undone the stringy thing and string around your ankles, you were really relieved, came round, didn't you? And I took you back home to Anne for a cup of tea, a cup of tomato toast, and the dogs are very pleased to have found him. He'd been there all night.
What was this? Was this some sort of prank? I mean, was it a stag do or something?
Well, I didn't want to be too nosy about it. I wanted to look after him, get on the phone to his friend, have him collected and off the bloody premises.
Has he kept in touch?
We have, really, haven't we? Because we found that your wife was quite friendly with one of my daughters, I think. I remember we haven't seen enough of each other, actually.
Who else would you like to question?
OK, David.
Yes. When you say he's he's your driver, I mean, he's picked you up on occasions.
He was the driver on several series of Peep Show.
So you're a professional chauffeur, are you?
He's not allowed to answer, Julie.
He's a professional driver, yes.
Have you ever picked me up?
He's not allowed to answer.
Are we allowed to see your hands?
Yeah, you can hold your hands out.
Oh, you could hold a pint of lager. What nonsense.
Wrong with those?
I've got tiny hands.
Have you?
Yeah, probably smaller
You're
than
my
his.
kind of lady.
David, tell us about the whole business with the pints, then.
What Paul told me is that he always chooses to drink bottled beer because when he holds a pint,
Wait, this isn't at the wheel, is it? This is...
No, but on a night out, he chooses to drink bottled beer rather than pints because he gets laughed at for holding a pint glass because he sort of has to use two hands.
You weren't that small. Are you sure they're not serving it in buckets?
Maybe there's some course you could go on to make your hands bigger.
Should speak to Ronnie about that. Now, what about Sarah, Lee?
OK, so how old were you?
It was only a couple of months ago.
Are you a regular in his shop?
Yeah, I buy a lot of chocolate.
And what happened while you were in charge?
Well, I was trying to shut one of the windows because it was quite cold, and you had like quite high ceilings. You know those sticks that have got the hook on the end that you can shut a window, and it sort of went through the window.
What's the shop called?
Paul's.
It's called Paul's, is it?
Yeah.
Paul.
Just Paul's?
Yeah.
Not Paul's shop?
No. Well,
Paul's.
it's obviously a shop.
To be fair, Marks and Spencer's.
What about this boy who got his head
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
in a
him.
box of crisps?
Well,
How did that come about?
It was at the end of the school time, sort of 4 o'clock, and there was a rush of little kids, and one of them just wanted to get himself some crisps out the box, and it was the last one, and he got his head stuck in because he sort of went in.
The cardboard boxes with all the crisps in the
with
hole?
the hole. Yeah. He couldn't quite reach, so he went
He put
in
his head in
first.
and it was stuck?
Yeah.
And you couldn't think of any way to unstick him?
Well, I don't really do kids.
The crisp box thing doesn't ring true. They're not that big, are they? You have to put your head in.
If it was a little boy, he hasn't got a head, no offence, the size of yours.
His arms are of reasonable length, presumably.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We need a guess from you, Lee. Is Paul Ronnie's bunker buddy, David's tiny-handed driver, or Sarah's unfortunate newsagent?
He does look like a driver.
Can I have a look at the back of your head?
Back of his head.
Yeah. Do you recognise the back of his head, Julian?
He's
the driver.
But I don't believe he's a northern shopkeeper because his shirt is too nicely ironed.
See, this is the dilemma now. The dilemma is...
You're saying there's no chance of it being
It's
Ronnie's.
unlikely, but I'm not saying it's definite, right? I want that to be true more than any other story I've ever heard in my life. Because that's what I want to see Ronnie doing in the big chair next time. You're not going to believe it. I can't do the voice. All right, I can't do the voice. And if I could, I wouldn't keep doing it.
Ronnie, can you do an impression of Rob?
No.
I've never felt the need to do an impression of Rob. No.
Do you want the glasses?
I love the glasses, yes. There we are. How about it? There we are. Oh, my word. Goodness me. And in a packed programme tonight. Good Lord, you get vertigo in those.
Oh, God. Nobody without these, you know. God.
So, what are you going to go for?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's the driver.
You think it's David's driver? Holly?
Yeah, I think it's David's driver.
I think it might be Sarah because she looks like the kind of person that could break a window and almost kill a small boy in 10 minutes. I'm going to overrule my team and say it's Sarah.
Oh, bold.
OK, you're saying that it's Sarah and the newsagent. OK. Paul, would you please reveal your true identity?
I'm Paul, I'm David's driver, and I don't think time's cut my hands are small.
Yes, well, if ever there was a harsher warning of the dangers of a fascist state, I'd like to see it. Thank you very much, Paul. So, at the end of that round, David's team have 2 points and Lee's team have 4. Which brings us to our final round, quick-fire lies, in which our panellists lie not only through their teeth, but also against the clock. Again, they don't know whether they're about to read out a true fact about themselves or a made-up lie that they've never seen before. David's team are currently behind, so they need to catch up. And we will start with... it's David.
As a child, I used to play board games against a bucket with a face painted on it. I called this bucket Stephen Tatlock.
Wow, what games did you play?
Monopoly. I played a game called Diplomacy. And...
Even then, you were thinking of becoming a politician.
Yeah. Even then. I'm not a politician.
Why Stephen Tatlock?
Well, it was basically named after a friend of mine. Who was...
Why did you play with Stephen Tatlock? He had no hands.
Stephen Tatlock wasn't always there. But after I painted the face on the bucket, he was.
Did you paint the face on the bucket?
I think my dad painted the face.
Your dad was involved in this sad story? You've decided you haven't got any friends, but lucky day for you is this is Stephen Tatlock.
What can I say? My father saw me talking to a bucket and decided to accept that side of my nature.
Did your father invent Henry Hoovers afterwards?
And this is your girlfriend.
So if you were playing Monopoly, you'd have your go, and then you'd run round and pretend to be Stephen, would you?
I wouldn't pretend to be Stephen, but I found I had to roll for Stephen. And Stephen would need help moving his...
Did Stephen ever win?
Yes.
What do you think, Lee? Is he telling the truth?
What do you think?
I don't know many people who have an imaginary friend with a surname.
He's one of the few. Did you call him Stephen Tatlock or Stephen? Did you say, it's your turn, Stephen Tatlock? You must do it quickly, or otherwise you'll go the way of the other buckets.
Usually I'd call him Stephen.
Oh, you were quite friendly then.
Yeah.
Did Stephen Tatlock know there was an imposter?
An imposter?
I call it the imposter.
No, I never mentioned Stephen Tatlock to Stephen Tatlock.
Did you ever mention the real Stephen Tatlock to the bucket?
I think probably not. No, I think that would have been...
They were blissfully unaware of each other's presence.
Sort of been playing with levels of reality. I don't want you to think that I felt I was in any way being unfaithful to the real Stephen.
Oh, yeah. I'm not picturing this as some sort of romantic film. I can't imagine the real Stephen Tatlock walking in on the game and you go, Stephen!
So what do you think then, Lee? Time for a guess. Truth or lie?
I think it's true.
You think it's true?
Don't know why.
Well, look at David. We know why. What do you think, Holly?
I think, I don't think it's true.
I might ask my friend, Boris Dickey. What do you think, Boris Dickey? Oh, Boris Dickey says no. It's a lie.
So you're saying it's a lie?
Yes.
You and Boris say it's a lie. OK,
Boris
David.
Dickey!
Boris Dickey. David, truth or lie?
It is, in fact, a lie.
Yes, it was a lie. When David was a child, he didn't play board games against a bucket that he called Stephen Tatlock. Next, it's Ronnie.
Oh, my goodness me. So glad I've been asked. There we are. Last week, I actually had to go into a shop and buy 4 candles.
Right.
Can I just check, Ronnie? When you say 4 candles, did you mean 4 candles or fork handles? You can have that one if you like. So
I went in to buy 4 candles.
Which one, though? 4 candles or fork handles?
4 candles.
Not 4 candles.
No, 4 candles.
Do you mean handles? Do you mean...
That would be confusing, couldn't it?
Can I just say, can you please let me have my childhood dream? Can I please say to Ronnie Corbett, do you mean handles for forks?
No, 4 candles. 4 candles.
So candles that you liked?
4 candles, yes.
Where was this?
Sort of Addiscombe Road. Do you know where Addiscombe Road is?
Well, give me a clue. Tell me the town.
Well, it's London.
Oh, London town.
London.
And it's a hardware shop, and it was, you know...
So you went in and you said, can I have 4 candles?
Yes.
What did the man say to you?
He came back with 4 candles.
Now, this is where it gets interesting. When he came back with the 4 candles, were they 4 candles or were they handles for forks?
There were 4 candles.
Lee, is it truth or is it a lie? Tell me now.
Oh, it's just... I want this to be true more than anything I've ever heard in my life. What do you think, Julian?
Well, it's a legend, so it must be true.
Do you think it's true? Holly?
I think it's true. I want it to be true.
I want it to be true.
Ronnie, is it the truth or were you telling a lie?
Well, I wanted it to be true, but I'm afraid it's...
Oh, it was a lie. Yes, last week, Ronnie didn't have to go into a shop and buy 4 candles.
When you say 4 candles...
It's a lie, although Ronnie does love shopping. As if he's good, he gets to ride in the trolley. And that buzzer signals time is up, and it's the end of the show, and I can reveal that, good Lord, Lee has romped home to victory by 8 points to 4.
Well done, team.
But it's not just a team game, and my individual liar of the week this week is Ronnie Corbett.
Thank you very much.
Yes, he's won BAFTAs and Royal Television Society awards, but I think being named Liar of the Week by me, Rob Brydon, will surely be regarded as the pinnacle of his success. Good night. Would I I Lie to You, the show that celebrates the art of lying. On Lee Mack's team tonight, it's the strong-willed feminine one from Dragon's Den. No, not Peter Jones. It's Deborah Meaden. And the thinking woman stand-up, as long as that woman is thinking he looks like he needs a decent meal. It's Mark Watson. And on David Mitchell's team, the most famous man to come out of Ireland other than Bob Geldof. Bono, Liam Neeson, Spike Milligan, Pierce Brosnan, Terry Wogan, Jack Charlton, and that little fella with the long beard and the big hat. It's Patrick Kilty! And underground, overground, wombling free. We did offer him a car, but he insisted on making his own way. It's Bernard Cribbins! Well, we'll start, of course, with round one, Home Truths, where our panellists each read out a statement from the card in front of them. To make things harder, they've never seen the card before, so they've got no idea what they'll be faced with. It's up to the opposing team to sift the fact from the fiction, and Patrick Kilty is up first. Patrick, please reveal all.
I once punched Muhammad Ali in the face.
Wow.
Blimey, O'Reilly. What, when?
I would say, early 2004-ish.
You punched Muhammad Ali?
Right in the chops.
Why?
We were in a hotel room together and I was asked to come and meet him in his room.
You were asked to come and... Why the hell were you asked to come and meet Muhammad Ali?
Muhammad wanted to meet me. His wife was there and his manager, and I asked for a picture. Muhammad mumbled something like this. And...
That's good mumble.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Like the mumble in the jungle.
So he said, come on, and I thought he was putting his fists up like that. And I said, what did you say? And his wife said he wants you to punch for the picture.
So you did?
How hard did you punch him?
Well, the thing was...
show us on David.
No.
David, this is never going to be said to you again in showbiz world. Just for a minute, pretend you're Muhammad Ali.
So I thought he was going to lean back for...
Yeah.
And he leant in, and I went like that. And
dear.
I caught him right in the nose.
No.
And there's a little bit of blood.
Blood?
No.
Yeah, no, there was...
And so what happened then? Did he ask for a rematch?
I didn't hang around long enough.
And where was the hotel?
Yeah, whereabouts was that?
It was in Dublin.
Have you ever fought with anyone before? You just look like you kind of...
He looks a bit useful, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did. You look like...
The pretend punch on David was horrifyingly realistic, in fact, yeah.
That was all in my reaction, actually.
Do you
You've
like
done as
boxing?
much stage fighting as I have, you realise.
What you mean is if you've been hit as much as I have, you know...
I had to call it theatre. It was really the only way of getting through school.
Right, Lee, it's a fanciful tale.
I don't know,
Does
it could be.
smack of truth for you?
Deborah?
I think it's a lie.
It's the bit when...
It's the blood trickling
It's the
down
blood
there.
trick. It was the detail of the blood.
It's either a brilliant lie or no, it's probably just a lie.
OK, my team say lie, I say
It's
lie.
a lie. OK. Patrick Kilty, were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
Truth.
Explain the bit where Muhammad Ali flies in and he asks, I mean, with the greatest respect in the world. If you said, I'd love to see that Bono guy. Get Bono down. Get him down now. Happened to him, Muhammad Ali. Why the hell would he want to see the guy from Celebrity Love Island? I don't get it.
We did a gig together in Dublin, a sports event, and so I introduced him on stage, and the next day he wanted to see me.
Incredible. Yes, it's true. Patrick did once punch Muhammad Ali in the face. And just 9 short months later, Patrick regained consciousness. Deborah Meaden, you're up next.
bit pointless putting them on, wasn't it?
I recently had my house exorcised after several weird occurrences spooked me.
Exorcised? But who by? By
a priest.
a priest of what church?
Oh, I don't know. There was... I was put onto him by somebody else who'd had the same or similar problem.
Internet Church of Dodgy.
The internet. Yeah.
What happened that made you want an exorcist? Was it ectoplasm or poltergeist or what?
No, things were moving around the house. Furniture was moving. I'd go to bed and get up in the morning and furniture would be moved and...
So what procedure did the man who came to exercise... Was it a man that came to...
It was.
How was he dressed?
I don't know the exact... He was dressed in black and a dog collar and...
So kinky.
No, I don't know exactly what he did because we had to leave the house. We spent a bit of time in the house and then we had to leave the house.
Can I ask you what they charged?
He didn't charge anything.
Really?
No.
It's a good job, because if you couldn't afford to pay the bill, they'd come back and repossess your house. I'm not going to lie, I'm taking tomorrow off.
I don't know whether I enjoyed the joke more or your look of pride.
Once the priest had performed this exorcism, Deborah, was there a difference? Did it work?
It felt instantly different, yeah.
And things stopped moving?
Things stopped moving.
As the ghost left the house, did it just turn around and go, I'm out?
So do you believe in ghosts, then?
Well, I didn't, to be honest, I didn't. And I wasn't sure it was going to work. But there was definitely something going on in our house.
Worth giving it a try.
Worth giving it a try.
I would remind you that Bernard has travelled in the TARDIS, so if anybody here has knowledge of odd things going on... I mean, he's literally travelled through time and relative dimensions in space.
And by literally, you, of course, mean fictionally.
You have to spoil it, don't you? You're telling me next the Wombles were made up as well. They were wonderful, the Wombles. What are those guys doing now? You never see them
They're
anything
moving
else.
furniture now, the Wombles.
Are they? Maybe it was Wombles. Maybe it was. David, what are you going to say?
What do you think, Bernard?
I actually believe in that sort of moving things about, so I'm not quite sure.
Patrick?
It's true.
So what are you saying, David?
Well, you think it's true?
True, yeah.
And you think it's true?
Yeah.
I think it's true. I think it's true. We're gonna say it's
The
true.
team is united in truth. OK.
Yes.
Deborah Meaden, were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
A lie.
Yes. Deborah has not had her house exorcised after several weird occurrences. Mark Watson, you're next.
When I was 6 years old, I wrote a will after losing a game of Connect 4 to my dad.
Sounds plausible enough, David.
You wrote a will?
Yes, yes.
What was...
Was it on a proper will form, or did you...
I didn't engage a lawyer, no.
You didn't?
It was just on that stripy paper you get at school.
Oh, the stripy paper,
And
yes,
what
okay.
possessions did you leave?
Well, all I really had was the Connect 4 set. And I left it to my dad as a deliberate act of spite because he'd beaten me. I mean, he'd beaten me at Connect 4, that is.
Can you remember how you phrased it in this will?
So I think I began it, but, you know, because I've been beaten at Connect 4, there's no point in living anymore.
I hereby leave my only cherished possession.
I maybe had about sort of £10 or something. There were a couple of other things, I think, in the will, but there wasn't much to it.
So what was it about this particular game of Connect 4? Were you used to beating your father at Connect 4?
Well, I don't want to go into details because it brings back unhappy memories, and also people at home might not know the game, but without wanting to be too technical, he connected 4, and I sort of... it was quite a built-up tournament, you see. It was a sort of best of 7 again. My dad called it the Watson Cup. I grew up in quite a competitive family.
Yeah.
And when I lost, it was just too much to take, really. Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible.
So you lose at Connect 4, you throw a bit of a tantrum.
Oh. Well, you call it a bit of a tantrum. I lost 4-3 from 3-1 up.
Yeah, but presumably you storm upstairs to your room.
Yep.
You take out a fresh sheet of paper.
Yep.
You write the bitter will.
Yes.
What do you do then?
I thought that my parents would panic, think I was dead, become guilty, and my dad
Why would they think you'd stormed upstairs to your bedroom? Why would they assume you were dead?
Oh, sorry, no, I went downstairs and left it where I knew they would see it, yes.
And then
At the
you went
time,
back upstairs?
They were watching Wogan, so they were distracted.
All right.
I think it was Wogan.
Young Mark Watson there, and he's about to take his own life, don't you know? But first, Chris Rea, The Road to Hell. As you were.
Uncanny.
How did your mum and dad react?
My dad saw through it pretty quickly. He came up the stairs, knocked on the door. I said yes, and he said, thought not.
All right, David, what do you think?
I believe this.
You believe it?
Yes. Do you believe it?
I believe it too.
I believe it too. He's a very sensitive child. You can tell that even now.
Yes.
So, David, you basically are saying you think it's true.
We'll say it's true.
We believe him.
Yeah.
Mark Watson, truth or lie?
It was
True, yes. Yes, it was true. When Mark was 6 years old, he wrote a will after losing a game of Connect 4 to his dad. Bernard Cribbins, you're next.
Right. I once sold my wife's car, but told her it was stolen.
Lee, what do you think?
When was this?
It was about 6 years ago.
Well, quite recently.
Oh, recently, yes.
It's not like in the early days when you were hard up for cash.
No. I was in a bit of strife with some gambling debts, and I could only do it by stealing the car and flogging it. I got three.
Sorry, the studio for Jeremy Kyle's just next door.
I think I got $3,500 for it.
And how did you explain it to your wife?
I told her it was stolen. I said it was outside, love. I don't know what's happened. Where's your car?
You said bloody wombles. I'll take anything.
Does your wife know now?
No.
So she will now when she watches the show.
She won't watch. I won't let her watch this.
Why, have you told the telly?
No. Where's the telly? Stolen glasses. I shall make sure when this is transmitted that we're out of the house. Right, definitely, yes.
The way you're going with your gambling, you might not have a house.
I don't gamble anymore, you see. I mean, that taught me a lesson. That was it. Off. Finished, yeah.
But we're trying to decide whether the esteemed actor and voiceover artist Bernard Cribbins is actually a gambler, a liar and a borderline crook, essentially.
Yeah.
It is not illegal to lie to your wife.
No.
What are you going to say, Lee? Is Bernard Cribbins telling the truth with this bizarre tale of his wife and the car?
OK, what are we saying?
I lie.
Saying it's a lie?
A lie. And what you say, Mark?
Yeah, I think it's a lie, because the alternative is that Cribbins has got a very dark past.
We need it to be a lie, Bernard.
So, Bernard, truth or lie?
I am telling...
It was a lie. Yes. Bernard did not sell his wife's car and then tell her it was stolen. Bernard and his wife have developed an understanding over the years. He doesn't sell her cars, and she doesn't mention Carry On Columbus. So at the end of that round, we're even Stevens. It's 2 points apiece. And so to our next round, This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. This week, each of Lee's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest, and it's up to David's team to spot who's telling the truth. So please welcome this week's special guest, Molly. Welcome, Molly. So, first of all, Deborah, perhaps you could tell us how you know Molly.
Well, this is Molly. She came into Dragon's Den. She was so nervous that she left after 20 minutes without saying a single word.
Right, OK. Mark, what is Molly to you?
This is my friend Molly. She starred in a murder mystery play which I wrote and directed at school.
All right, and Lee, what about you?
This is Molly. She's teaching me to ice skate because I'm going to be a best man at a wedding on ice.
There we have it. David, over to you.
Right. Well, Deborah, what was Molly coming into... What was her business?
It was sort of eye shades for, well, sunglasses for dogs in summary. And she brought the dog in and it took 10 minutes to settle the dog down, and then I think maybe Molly got a bit nervous and...
So she came up with the dog. The dog's not wearing the sunglasses.
I'm simplifying it. It wasn't just sunglasses. They were kind of shades for the... They were slatted, shady things for the
So
eyes.
the dog was wearing
With a little
Venetian
handle on the
blinds.
side.
Venetian blinds.
So they can go like that, so that you can turn a handle and blind the
But
dog.
you're waiting...
And did she get any money at all?
She didn't say a word.
So,
She didn't say a word. She went straight back downstairs, well, after 20 minutes.
and you've kept in contact ever since?
Not at all, but we did meet afterwards because she was so nervous and she just felt she'd failed her...
Well, I mean, she's right. She had, hadn't she? She'd come up with a daft idea and then totally failed to express it.
What sort of a dog...
You'd be a very good dragon, David.
What sort of a dog was it?
Labrador Retriever.
Labrador, that's great. The idea of a Labrador with dark glasses on. Someone the blind leading the blinds.
So, Mark, was Molly at school with you?
Yes, she was. Yeah.
She was at and so you wrote the school play, which was vaguely about a murder, and you cast her in it.
I both wrote and cast the play. Yeah.
And so what was the plot of the...
Well, I think it was probably a lot of nonsense, but there was Molly.
We'll be the judge of that.
Molly played, I think, the wife of a rich man who was murdered, and it was all a bit silly, you know, the way school plays are. It's a while ago, so I can't remember.
I love the fact that you remember every single detail of a game of Connect 4 when you were 6, but 10 years later...
Yeah. Theatre comes and goes, but Connect 4 stays with you.
What was it called? Do you remember the title?
The title of the play.
Of the play?
No.
Yes.
Any title. Just have any title. Work your way from titles of things you know
I think
that'll give you time to make up the title of this play.
All right, it was called Arsenic and Old Mice, which was a play on the play Arsenic and Old Lace.
Lee, where are you learning to ice skate? Tell me.
I'm learning to ice skate at Alexandra Palace.
Right. And how far have you got with it?
Well, I actually...
I mean, can you stand on one leg and do all that stuff yet?
Oh, yeah, but not on the ice rink.
No.
Alexandra Palace?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, is that the nearest ice rink to where you live?
It's not... I don't know if it's the nearest one, but it's the one where...
Well, I'll tell you, no, it isn't.
OK, it isn't. But when my friend, who said we're having this ice skating-themed wedding and we're all training every week for the little moves, I didn't say, is there any chance you come to me? Because the day's all about me. My friends are into ice skating. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh, what an appropriate thing for their wedding.
They're actually going to do a routine, the man and wife.
Right.
They're doing a routine on the ice, because they're ice
Fully
skating.
clothed, I hope.
Fully clothed,
Right,
yes.
fine.
Yeah, I don't know which films you watch, Bernard, but naked ice skating isn't really big. So they're going to board it off, so you have an aisle of ice.
Aisle remaining of ice. The rest of the ice is sort of carpeted with seats on it.
I don't know. You're mixing me up with admin.
OK.
So, what's your role in the
It's
wedding?
like this, I sort of tumble and then go like that.
So are you best man? Are you presenting the rate? Well,
I am that very man, yes. I'm the best man.
So what do you have to do? What's skating? What skating do you have to do? They've done their routine.
Right,
and then
OK.
You skate in.
Just to be absolutely clear...
OK, so the vicar comes first.
Patrick, you're a guest. Just listen to me. And basically, they're going to do a big routine, and the bridesmaids are going to be part of the big routine. And the idiots like me that can't do much, we're just going to skate off on at the end like that. I'm just talking to the fat members of the family as I'm walking home.
How many lessons are you
I
having?
haven't finished the routine yet.
Sorry.
And then I get to the end like that. I've got the ring. I do one quick... I don't know what they call it, axel. Down on the knee, present to groom. Like this. And then the groom... Don't patronise me! And everything's just themed, and it's going to be beautiful.
And then where's the reception happening?
That's happening at the ski slope in... the reception's at Alexandra Palace as well.
Right, we need an answer. So, David's team. Is Molly Mark's leading lady, Deborah's shy entrepreneur, or Lee's ice skating teacher? David.
Well, I think we're agreed that Lee's story is...
The truth, and that's the end of the round.
Too plausible. I think Mark would remember more about this play.
I think he's been very vague about this play on purpose.
Flannelling like
mad. You think you think it's true, but he's been deliberately vague?
Yeah, I think so. Does this woman look like someone that puts Venetian blinds on dogs?
Does any woman look like that, to be fair?
What do you think?
Deborah.
You think Deborah?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think that? You think Mark?
I think it's Mark.
Well, I think it's Deborah.
Do you know what? I'm starting to feel like the ugly one on Blind Date.
Well, I think I agree with Bernard. I think it's Deborah's former Dragon's Den contestant.
OK.
Yes.
Molly, would you please reveal your true identity?
I starred as the wife of Sir Leonard Onions in Mark's play Arsenic Filled Mice at school when he was my house captain.
Yes, Molly starred in a murder mystery that Mark wrote and directed while at school. What sort of a director was he, Molly?
Masterful.
Really?
Yes, really.
That's the end of the round.
Molly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Which brings us to our final round, Quickfire Lies, in which our panellists lie not only through their teeth, but also against the clock. We will start with... it's David.
OK. As a child, I had a special way of communicating with Captain Kirk during Star Trek episodes.
True. On we go.
What do you reckon?
And that special way was?
I had two ways of communicating with Captain Kirk. One was with a little calculator that, when you it had a sort of leatherette case, and when you flipped it open, it was, to my child's eyes, uncannily identical to a Star Trek communicator of the old sort. We're talking pre-nipple punch.
You do this, David.
I know it's more sort of.
Yeah, no. It would open with, it would go, and then it would go, and you press the button, Kirk to win a prize, and it would go...
Oh, yes, that's the secondary noise.
Can I just ask a question? Did you two ever have girlfriends?
Yeah.
No, I didn't, in all honesty. As a child, did you?
No.
No. It was a great noise, wasn't it?
Yeah. Very comforting.
It was, yeah.
That kept me company. Who needs people?
Exactly.
And what was the second way?
The second way was... I would sort of converse a bit with the characters on the screen while it was happening. Sort of join in, slip in. Oh, that's good thoughts, Captain Kirk, etc. You know. Don't interrupt me, Spock. I'm talking.
Do you know the characters of the famous Star Trek?
Yeah.
There's
Uhuru, what did she call
Uhuru.
Uhuru, yeah.
Sulu. Chekhov.
Bones.
Bones, yes.
McCoy, actually, properly.
Rob, have you ever refereed anything before? You'd make a terrible referee at football. Why don't you try kicking it in the top like that?
Right, what are you going to say then, Lee? What do you think?
It's the bit that rings most true, actually, about all of this was when he went, I flipped it open. Because I remember those calculators. They used to have a little thing.
There's no doubt, yeah.
And did you do the old thing when it spells boobies when you turn it upside down? You didn't know what they were. OK, so...
Is David telling the truth, Lee? What do you reckon?
Right, OK. Do we believe David, as a small child, would be so lonely and sad that he would have to use his calculator?
Yes, yes, we do, yeah.
You're saying it's true?
We're saying it's true.
You sure? OK. David, is it true or is it a lie?
I prefer the word imaginative to lonely, but yes, it's true.
Yes, it's true. As a child, David did have a special way of communicating with Captain Kirk during Star Trek episodes. David particularly liked Leonard Nimoy. That odd life form obsessed with logic would tune in each week to watch Mr. Spock.
Oh, yes.
Next. Right, that's me. Possession. Right. Pick it up first. Steady. This is a prototype invention of mine that I'm hoping to release one day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Brydon's World of Magic.
Teams, questions?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, it's a TV aerial for the bath, isn't it?
On first inspection, you'd think so. It's actually not.
Don't tell us. Let's guess what it is.
All right, try and guess what it is.
Can you demonstrate how you would use it and see if we can guess? Yeah, please do.
Can I come out?
Is now a good time? He's cleaning something... Oh.
Oh,
Footprints, he's
painting.
cleaning
Painting. You're painting.
Oh.
Painted a dotted circle.
He's doing
I haven't finished.
Hang on, he's painted a circle or has he cleaned the circle?
He's patting children on the head.
Incidentally, I've just remembered something. This isn't a mime show. Tell us what you were doing.
It's a thing for kids. I got a lot of children, and it's an idea I came up with, and it's just a big kind of painting stick. It's just a silly painting stick. I'm very interested, actually, to know what you think, Deborah.
I think it's
£5 grand, that's all I need.
Oh, you just need £5 grand. Anybody? Anybody?
I think probably you.
You in particular.
Oh, me, is it?
You're quite well known for being rich.
Quite seriously, all jokes
Do you know how
aside...
you get rich?
Probably not like that.
investing in things
Deborah,
like that,
stop talking to the idiot at the end.
Oh, sorry.
Talk to this idiot.
Yeah,
Seriously? Oh, don't buy into that.
What do you mean don't buy into it?
Don't buy into that!
No, not this. Buy into this. Don't buy into that.
You've been rubbish on Dragon's Den. See this? Don't buy into that!
Don't buy into this.
Deborah, what do you think? Seriously, what do you think?
Seriously, what do I think?
It wouldn't be wood, like this is a prototype. It would be a gaily coloured plastic, maybe with some kind of laminate cover on it with zigzag. Kids
Would it
love
be
zigzags.
nothing like that?
Well, it'd be quite a lot like this.
Can you imagine if you asked for a Nintendo Wii and Dad came home with that? There's not much you can do apart from do circles, though, is there?
Yes, plenty you can do.
That's You can do that with normal spoons.
With this invention, you can do this.
Yeah? Another... Oh, you mean another one of those circles you were telling us about?
But is it a circle, Lee?
Well, it's starting to become a circle, yeah.
You think it's a circle? Wait a minute.
It looks like it.
Oh, hello. Do you know what? I'm in. I'm in.
Suddenly. What would you call it?
4 sponges on a stick.
Rob's colourful stick.
Hey! Hey, I'm not falling for this again.
Yeah. Right, what are you going to say?
I've seen a lot of inventions.
Yes?
That's
not even an invention. I'm going to be maverick here, and suddenly I think it's a good idea. No, I do.
It is a good idea. It's great fun.
I'm starting to look forward to actually borrowing that and playing with my kids with it.
What are you going to say?
I say that I think Rob is mad enough to think that's a good idea, and we should say that's true.
You're saying it's true. David Mitchell, what is your team saying?
Rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
Do you think it's a lie?
A lie.
He's mad enough to have come up with that, I think.
My instinct is that it's a lie.
OK, you say it's a lie. You say it's true.
Yeah.
It's actually a lie. Oh, and that noise signals time's up. It's the end of the show, and I can reveal that David has romped to victory by 7 points to 5. But it's not just a team game, and my individual liar of the week is Deborah Meaden. Yes, Deborah Meaden, a woman whose ability to lie is tested every time Duncan Bannatyne asks if she's pleased to see him. Good night.
Tonight, on Would I Lie to You, the unseen bits, Ruth Jones, Ronnie Corbett, Keely Hawes, John Bishop, Richard E. Grant, Jason Manford, Joanna Page, Stephen Mangan, Fran Britton, Patrick Keelty, Bernard Cribbins, and their team captain, David Mitchell. And facing them tonight, Jack D, Patsy Palmer, Martin Clunes, Julian Cleary, Professor Brian Cox, Chris Addison, Sanjeev Bhaskar, Kevin Bridges, judges, Deborah Meaden, Peter Serafinowicz, Holly Walsh, and their team captain, Lee Mack, and your host, Rob Brydon.
Brian, you're first. Please reveal all.
I once caused the Hadron Collider to be shut down after I spilt yoghurt in it.
Do you know what? I believe it already. David's team.
Paint the picture of a day working at the Collider.
Not literally, we'll be here all night.
What's the sort of access point of the Collider like? I'm imagining it's like a room with computers in. I don't imagine people are sort of wandering around the actual tube bit, finding a little corner to have lunch.
During construction, then, of course, you had to go in. And I was responsible for a bit that's about 420 metres from the point at which we create the Big Bangs. And so I was in there, and you test bits when it's all done. And I was in there in the morning, having my yoghurt. You're not supposed to. Swiss
he does have to chat up the ladies, doesn't he? Never mind, that's what you're drinking.
Someone went past me on a bike, because you have to ride bikes or anything, and nudged my arm, and I spilt the yoghurt onto an electrical connection.
And this was during construction?
Yes. Well, during the testing of my piece.
So it didn't all have to be shut down, just a...
No, just an octant. We can shut it down in eighths.
Right.
And I think he knew what an octant was.
Yeah.
It's for you. It's for me.
Can I ask you a technical question?
Yeah.
What flavour was the yoghurt?
It was one of those Swiss, like, rather flavourless Swiss yoghurts.
So there are people in there on bikes?
Yeah, because it's 27 kilometres in
So they go around on bikes inside?
Yes.
Sounds like Centre Parks.
And you're sitting... Which part of it did you drop the yoghurt into or onto?
There are pieces called... I'm going to go into chat-up mode again now. called superconducting cables. That, if you cool them down to about 1.9 Kelvin, so 1.9 degrees of absolute zero, then they become superconducting, have no electrical resistance and carry currents up to 13,000 amps in wires of a very small cross-section.
So in layman's terms, is it a wire?
Yeah.
Did you get yoghurt on a wire?
It's niobium tungsten alloy.
Sorry?
It's a niobium tungsten alloy.
I'm not saying it's not a brilliant wire.
As David well knows, because they're superconducting, they can
I
carry...
might well know as well.
They can carry very high
flirting with each other. I'm here as well. Tell me, bitch!
I'm very flattered by it, but you know, I did history. You know, I know that Hitler's dead, and that's it.
And, Professor, how long was it closed down for?
About 3 months.
3 months? As a result of what you did?
We had to replace that piece of the machine.
Oh, my God.
That was
quite expensive.
How much do they reckon that cost?
That's why I'm on telly now, trying to work off the debts. Why do you think I'm doing this? I don't
know.
I'm in Geneva, if I had any respect left at all.
They said, get out there, whore yourself around. He's just come from hole in the wall.
Did you own up straight away, or did you say, he hit me, nudge me?
I
the bike.
I had sticky up hair and a completely sooty face. I couldn't deny it.
You went to fancy
Did you then take your goggles off?
Did you take them off and did you go, Marty, we gotta get to the DeLorean? So, David, let's take a guess. What do you think?
3 months, that's a big... I just wonder whether he'd be ready to bring it up on a comedy show.
So, with that in mind, what are you going to say?
I think it's a lie.
Well, I'm just in awe of the sciencey stuff. And if he says he dropped yoghurt on a wire, then he dropped yoghurt on a wire.
Is it a lie?
I think it's a lie.
I think it's a lie. You think it's true?
I think it's true. What can I say?
Well, let's be democratic and say it's a lie.
You're saying it's a lie. OK, Professor Brian Cox, is it the truth or were you telling a lie?
It was a lie.
Well done. It was a lie. Right, Martin Clunes, you're up next.
Right. Sometimes I change the order in which I put my shoes and socks on to spice up my daily routine.
David's team.
Are we to take it that sometimes you put your shoes on first?
Of course not. What a silly question. No, of course I don't.
So what's the normal, then?
Which is normal. I like to mix it up, keep it fresh. To stop this thing becoming a drudgery because I have to do it every day. When I'm working, several times a day.
So,
why several times a day?
Well, a leading actor, I have to change my costume all day long. It drives me mad.
So when you're doing Doc Martin, you don't just stay in the one outfit all day?
I have at least 8 suits.
Martin, you don't need to change your socks every time, do you?
Oh, you're familiar with my feet, are you?
No? OK. I certainly am not.
So we're saying then, Martin, that you do that sometimes just to spice things up.
Listen, well, look, you can either... You're presented with 2 pairs of feet, 2 shoes, 2 socks.
2 pairs of feet? 2
pairs of feet. Is that not the norm? 2 feet, 2 socks, 2 shoes. Yeah. They've all got to marry up at some point. So sometimes I'll put both socks on, then both shoes on. Or sometimes I'll put a sock on and then that shoe, and then that sock and then that shoe, just to stop myself going stale.
Well, do you know what I do sometimes? And then this is true. I sometimes put my socks on before I put my pants on. And I find that vaguely erotic. Because you're there, Fern, picture it, you're there with your long socks, in my case, with your socks on and nothing else on, just socks.
I'll tell you what I do. I sometimes nakedly put my tackle between my legs and pretend I'm a woman.
You should never put your socks on as a man without any trousers.
Really? Why?
Just don't. Look at yourself.
Have you ever done it?
I have once, an early girlfriend, by which I don't mean she was a sort of cave person. She was one of the girlfriends I had earlier in my life. She said, never, never do that, and it stuck with me.
Really?
So this whole getting dressed is quite awkward, then. So what's
Not awkward.
No, I just want
It's
to hear
varied
from the beginning. No, because you've got to get your pants and your trousers on before the whole sock shoe...
They've all got to go on at some point, haven't they?
What are you saying, David? Truth or lie?
Fern,
Oh, I'm going to say it's a lie.
Lie from Fern. David?
Well,
I think it's true.
Oh, you think it's true? Yeah, I thought it might be true. I'm going to say I think it's true.
OK. Martin Clunes, is it the truth or is it a lie?
It's absolutely true.
Our next round is called The Ring of Truth, in which I read out an amazing celebrity fact, and all our teams have to do is decide whether it's true or not. So both teams take a look at this.
She's not really spiteful, but she's a bit afraid now.
You see it there? I'm drinking all right now.
Brandy, now stop it. Brandy, now stop it.
Ooh.
Stop
Devil,
it.
isn't she?
You've got to be careful.
Yeah.
Brandy.
Down here. That's it.
You're little Laura.
Did one of your researchers not got an update on Brandy to see how he is now?
Well, it was 15 years ago, I think we know.
We can live 25 years, cats.
You haven't seen him for 15 years, Julian, but he's here tonight. I actually like cats, Ron.
Oh, yes, you like cats, but you're mime-smashing them.
Smashing a dangerous cat that posed a threat to our lovely audience. And one of Britain's most beloved comedians.
Stamper it again.
Here's the related fact, OK, related to cats for both teams. Noel Edmonds employs a pet chef once a week to cook a 3-course dinner for his cat. Is that true, both teams?
When they say a pet chef, that's presumably a
chef for pets.
A chef for pets,
not
like...
a Jack Russell or a working Cocker Spaniel in a hat.
What are the courses in a cat 3-course dinner?
Yeah, what's the menu?
I shall tell you. I shall tell you.
Veal or no veal? I am actually ashamed of myself. I feel quite sick.
If it gets run over, it's wheel or no wheel.
If the cat was a fishing enthusiast...
Shut up!
The cat is called Marmalade and is 3 years old. Marmalade's favourite meal is smoked salmon roll-ups, followed by...
What do you mean, roll-ups?
So these are roll-ups.
I'll tell you what, I was tripping off my face the other night, I'll tell you. At one point, I thought I was living with Noel Edmonds, honestly. I was off my tits.
Smoked salmon, followed by carpaccio of tuna with salted butter ice cream for afters. Sounds better in your... I was doing Ronnie.
Yeah. I thought you were.
On Marmalade's last birthday, the pet chef made a birthday cake in the shape of a Deal or No Deal box.
Oh, my
nice.
God.
Oh, come. Well, you say in the shape of a deal or no? I mean, you mean a rectangular cake?
I think even I could stretch to that. Yes.
Well, here's my problem with it.
Yes.
Why only once a week?
Well, I'll tell you. He hires the pet chef one night over the weekend so his cat can enjoy a treat.
As a treat for my chickens, Maureen's been broody for weeks, and I haven't got a cockerel at the moment, for reasons I won't go into. Anyway, the other day, my neighbour found on the lawn an abandoned duck egg. So we've slipped the duck egg under Maureen, and in a few weeks' time, she'll hatch out a duck. Please don't touch me.
Sorry.
She'll be very upset,
Why?
When the duck hatches?
Well, she'll just think it's a chicken.
She'll know it's not a chicken. The shape of the mouth and everything.
Yeah. She'll be furious when she sees the bill.
Yes. Very good.
So let's take a guess then. I mean, which way are you heading here, Lee?
I think it's true.
You think it's true? Lee?
Yeah, I think it's true.
OK, we'll go for true.
Going with true. OK, David's team.
I don't think it's true.
No, have you met Noel Edmonds?
Yes, I met you, yes.
Has Ronnie Corbett met Noel Edmonds? Do bears...
Meet Noel Edmonds?
Of course, he's met everybody. Do you mean there's nobody he hasn't met? He's Ronnie Corbett. He probably met Elvis.
I thought it likely that Ronnie had met Noel Edmonds, but it's not, you know,
I was on the house party a lot, wasn't I? Played the butler.
Yes, he played the butler on the house party. I mean, you insult the man. You insult the man. Why don't you ask him, were you ever in a famous double act with another man with a similar name? Unbelievable. And he loves you for it. Typical.
And yet, when I touch him, nothing.
Severity.
Right, what do you think?
I think it's a lie. Yeah.
You think it's a lie?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
you think it's a lie?
I think it's a lie.
We think it's a lie.
You're saying you think it's a lie, right? You're saying you think it's true. Someone's going to be right. It is actually a lie. Yes, Noel Edmonds does not employ a pet chef once a week to cook a three-course dinner for his cat. That's the kind of thing a lunatic would do. But as it turns out, he doesn't. Which brings us to our final round, quick-fire lies, in which our panellists lie not only through their teeth, but also against the clock. And we're starting with... John Bishop.
Okay. I was asked to leave the cinema for crying too loudly.
Please, team, do you believe that?
What was the film?
Rocky.
Rocky?
Rocky, the first one.
Rocky. Which bit did you cry at?
I cried at the bit at the end.
Which bit is that?
When he looked like he was getting beaten, then he shouted age, and then it was all his dreams were encapsulated in that one moment. And, you know,
And you cried?
I've been through a lot, and so, yeah.
How old were you?
I would have been in my early 20s, and I had...
Whoa, slow that down. You were in your early 20s in 1977.
Was it 77? No, let me think.
Actually, I tell him, I think it was about 75, wasn't it, Rocky?
No.
That makes you 55.
I would have been a teenager. It was definitely a teenager. The reason
you're minusing some years off now, are you, John?
No, the reason it was emotional for me is because I had it wasn't a friend of mine, it was a friend of my brother's who was a boxer who had had a terrible accident.
You think this... Do you honestly think... Do you honestly believe that you could come on this show... You should have been the age of 6, but actually you said you were 20-odd, and in the panic you have the audacity to pretend you know about some inflicted boxer to try and wing us round and go, oh, she's terrible news, of course we believe you, John. What happened to him?
It's a lie.
It's a blatant lie, isn't it?
You're saying it's a lie.
The biggest lie we've ever had on this show.
John Bishop, is it true or is it a lie?
It's a lie.
It's not true, what John's been telling us, but I remember as a teenager being advised not to watch Bambi without a box of tissues handy. You can imagine my disappointment. Because I didn't cry. Next. Oh, me, right?
Oh.
I used to put on a different voice on the telephone and pretend to be my own agent.
Let's have it, then.
The voice?
Imagine I've just rung up. Hello. Okay. I'm the people that want to book Rob Brydon. Yes. How much would he cost?
His name, I used to call him Richard Knight. And Richard used to talk like this, and he'd say, listen, love to help you out, but at that price, we're really not going to make much movement. And I once did a charity gig, and...
It's a lie. He's never done charity gigs.
got money for it. Because Richard said, listen, Rob's an angel, and if he knew I was doing this, he'd never forgive me, but I've got to get a bit of money, otherwise I wouldn't be doing my job.
Did you have a real agent at the time?
No.
So, how many phone numbers... Do you have a separate phone number for your fake agent? Or was it just your normal phone?
I used to work at the BBC in Cardiff. I was on the radio, I used to be a DJ, and if they got through to the office, I would then phone back under the guise.
When it came to important meetings, did you have to, like, take a disguise and sit there and go, oh, Rob's in the toilet at the moment, but when he gets back, I'm sure he can discuss with him. I'll go and get him now. I believe my agent said I could do it. I do all the voices. Ask me what it would be like if I was talking to Ronnie Corbett. Or Tom Jones, I can do it. You don't believe me? Ask my agent. I'll go and get him.
I assume you've got an agent now, so why did you decide to...
Well, I didn't have one. Yeah, I have one now, but I didn't have one then.
What convinced you needed one? Was it working?
Because it's very difficult to do your own negotiations and not come across as an horrible person when you're asking for money. But if it was Richard Knight saying, listen, I'm just doing this, Rob doesn't want money, but I've got to get money for the guy.
But they didn't know it was you.
That's my whole point, you idiot. That's what I'm saying.
Did you have anybody else on your books?
What's the sort of work that...
Hosting things. This was back in about the late 80s when I was a local radio disc jockey.
So did the agent take a cut?
Did the agent phone you to let you know they got the job?
No, I was the agent!
Did you ever fall out with your agent?
No, it was me!
When you decided that this charade had to finish, did you take yourself out to dinner and tell yourself you were letting yourself go?
Did you sign a contract?
Are you still in touch?
Right, it's time to guess. First of all, Lee and those bastards. What are you going to go for?
I would say true.
You think it's true?
You saying it's true?
Yes, in the words of Rob Brydon, I think that's true.
Right, saying it's true. David and these arses. What do you say?
That is so true.
I think
it's true?
Yeah, I think
Keely
it's
thinks
true.
it's true. David, well, let me buck the trend by telling you it's true. Next. It's Jack.
Right. Possession.
OK, reach under the desk and take out the box underneath the desk there. So if you just pop the possession...
This is the fez that I put on to propose to my wife.
Let's see the fez then, please, Jack, if you could just take that up. So there's the fez.
There's the fez.
OK, David.
OK, why?
Well, we were on holiday.
Yeah, I think you should put it on, Jack, so we can all get an idea of the romance of the moment.
You're on holiday in Cooper World.
We were on holiday, and there was a hat like this in the bar, and I don't know why. It had all sorts of knickknacks in the bar, and this is the look I went for to propose to her because it seemed like a fun way of breaking some very bad news.
What were you doing it for? Was it because you were trying to be different from your stage persona, or were you...
you know, there was no... When you do a thing like that, there's no rhyme or reason to it, is there? You just think it's a bit of fun, and then you didn't know that 20 years later you'd be interrogated about it by a group of people who don't care, you know, about you at all.
Where were you actually... What sort of situation, what location were you at when you put the hat on?
We were having drinks after dinner.
Well, just imagine for a moment, then, that I'm your now wife.
I would much rather not.
This is the game, and I'm sat there, I'm having a lovely time. I've landed on my feet with Jack. I mean, I could have gone out with all sorts of people, but I went for Jack, and he's a hell of a guy. And then out of the blue, you say this.
Would you marry me?
Well, just like that?
Yes.
Really? As simple as that?
Yes.
Did you really say just like that?
Yeah, I did, without any irony, I know, yeah. Incredible.
That wasn't even an ounce of a joke.
OK, what are you going to say, David? Is he telling the truth?
I think it's a lie. I don't think he looks comfortable in a fez.
And you think it's a lie?
Yeah, who does?
What are you going to say?
I think you're right, so I think it's a lie.
You're saying it's a lie? OK, Jack, is it the truth or is it a lie?
I'll have you know, it was a lie.
Next. It's Lee.
Every year, I mark the anniversary of the death of my goldfish by pouring a shot of brandy into my pond.
Did this tradition predate the death of your goldfish?
No.
No.
That was not the cause of the death.
Were there other fish that survived?
Yeah. I've got a pond in the garden.
Yes.
The pond has nothing to do with the death of the goldfish.
But how many fish were in the pond? Just one?
I'm not going to say this again, Bernard.
Was the goldfish in the pond when it died?
No.
Sorry,
No,
a goldfish was not a pond goldfish, it was a bowl goldfish, was it? Or a tank goldfish?
It was a tree goldfish, actually.
Where did he live?
The goldfish lived in a bowl. The goldfish bowl.
If the goldfish lived in a bowl...
Correct!
Why do you commemorate its death by pouring brandy into an alternative goldfish habitat?
Because when the goldfish died, the bowl went.
Do any fish live in the pond?
Are there currently any fish in the pond? Because if you pour brandy into a pond...
They're going to die as well.
They're going to die as well. So it's a legitimate question.
There was at no point, right, did the original fish die due to brandy being poured into the
now...
There's fish in the pond,
right?
But the amount of brandy that I pour into the pond is like the weakest cordial you could ever drink.
Fish, Lee? Fish are drinking all the time.
Yes.
Not brandy!
Not alcohol.
Brandy if it's in the bloody water?
Yes, but it's then not brandy, is it? Brandy is...
Well, it's brandy and water!
No, it's not.
It's a weak brandy and water.
No. Brandy diluted is no longer brandy.
So you're saying when you put soda in brandy, you'll make it it's no longer brandy?
Soda in brandy? You put soda in brandy,
Brandy and soda, yes.
What kind of 1970s porn world are you living in?
Just one last question. Why do you commemorate the death of a goldfish?
Right.
It doesn't matter the death of a goldfish.
Oh, it
Not
doesn't
many
matter to
people
you,
care.
you bitch.
No, it doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter to me, but I suspect it doesn't matter to you either.
Oh, and it doesn't matter to me, but it matters to the wife. The wife loved that goldfish like a husband.
And so she said, do me a favour, my beloved husband, show your respect for this fish I so loved by annually pouring a shot of brandy into the pond of these other fish who I secretly hate and wish to destroy.
So with that in mind, David, what are you going to say?
Bernard.
He's a liar.
Patrick?
It's true.
No, it's not. He's a liar.
You're saying it's a lie?
Yes.
OK, Lee, is it true what you've just told us, or is it a lie?
It's absolutely a lie.
We've done the whole show, and I didn't ask you, Peter, to do your Terry Wogan impression. I feel bad.
Now, Rob, you know I don't do a Terry Wogan. Come now, sir. Well, if I'm going to do my Terry Wogan, surely you could do your Ken Bruce. We've never done this before, have we?
Well, thanks, Terry. And it's me, Ken Bruce, now in the morning, and it's talking about playing Beverly Craven and Woman to Woman.
Oh, Ken, nobody cares.
He's right, you know. And you might be interested to know that later on this month, Terry and I will be at the Arndale Centre in Manchester for children in need, and you can strap on a black rhino annihilator dildo and make my eyes water for charity. If only he'd studied harder, Lee could have pursued a career as an academic. Ah, well, academia's loss is comedy's loss. You see...
Did you say academia?
Yeah, I did. I know.
I love those academia nuts. If you eat enough, you get an MA.
It's a very difficult job, this. You see, Lee didn't fit into traditional academic categories.
Isn't working out with you not being able to read, is it?
You say true, you say lie.
You said lie.
It is actually true. No, I've got to press the button. Sorry, I've got to press the button. I'll do it again. Can you react the same way? I forgot to press the button. You say true, you say lie.
True, actually. We think true. You can't press the button, I'm going to get points out of it. I can press the button. I may not be able to spot a truth from a lie, but the button I've got.
You say true.
No, we're changing it to lie.
Here we go, right. You say true.
No.
You say lie. These people want to go home.
Yes.
So does Ronnie, yeah.
God,
Look, he thinks he's recorded a whole series tonight.
How long is the show when it goes out?
10 minutes.